is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we are here with the final injury report of the week for the Lions and Steelers game, man. It is Friday, so we have some designations for the Lions and for the Steelers, more for the Lions. We got some updates around some players that could make their debut this weekend. I think y'all know who I'm talking about, so let's get it started.
We're going to bite a kneecap off, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
And welcome, everybody, to our video. Glad you guys are here. Man, I'm excited. Friday's always a good day. Friday has never not been a good day. And today, oh snap, that was good. But today, we have the final injury report. I mean, I know that's what you guys wake up for. You're like, dang, I cannot wait for Friday so we get that final injury report. Well, here it is. You wait no longer. It's here. We have the final injury report. Now, the Steelers dropped theirs much earlier today. They did it like before 3 o'clock, which definitely caught me off guard. And they upload theirs weird. They just kind of like put it in the same article, so it doesn't really like update itself, so you don't know that it's new. You kind of just click on it, and it's like, oh snap, it's done. So theirs is a little strange. They didn't really designate where their players are going this week, like who's playing and who's not playing, questionable, things like that. They only did it for one guy, but we kind of have a good feel of who's actually going to play and who's not going to play. For the Lions side, we do have some designations. Probably a little bit of bad news there, but there's also some good news as well to dive into. We have a couple of notes from Dan Campbell. We got to hear from Goff Reynolds, so we'll talk about him a little bit. And then we'll get to our preview, not in this video. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. We'll do a preview. Maybe I'll save it for the live stream before the game. I'm not exactly sure, but I've been watching the film of this team, and it's an interesting team. It's interesting. They are a very tight group. They're tough to exploit defensively and offensively. See how it can be frustrating playing against this team because they are a very, I don't want to say slow-paced offense, but they are very short action offense, like screens, handoffs, motion. It's like, okay, I can see how this would get frustrating, but it's going to be big for that front 7 to eat in this game. So let's not wait any longer. Let's dive into this. Okay, now I want to start off with the Lions side first, all right? And the reason I want to do that is because there's no longer a guy on this list that was there the last couple of days for me. Now, I want to point this out. I don't know if I was like losing my mind or are the Lions and Steelers playing a joke on me? Is this a prank? Are the cameras here? The camera's right there. Someone's playing a prank on me because there is no way Trey Flowers was not on this list the last 2 days. No way. No, I'm telling you, I saw the dude on this list. I did it twice. I saw him on there Wednesday and Thursday, and I wrote it down. And all of a sudden today he's not there. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. He would still be on the list. They wouldn't just take him off if he was there early in the week. So I went back and looked at the old ones, and he wasn't there. And I'm like, all right, the Steelers will have it. So like the Steelers, he wasn't there. Well, I don't know what I was looking at. Was Trey Flowers really not here all week? I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I think they're joking with me. I think they're pranking me, and they're laughing right now that they're doing this. They called the Steelers. They're like, hey, Steelers, can you like just take Trey Flowers off there, confuse him? Because I'm lost. I have no idea how I thought I saw Trey Flowers on this. Maybe it's just my mind was like, yeah, Trey Flowers is on there. He's always on here. I don't know what it was, but apparently he's not on this list. So for the last 2 days, I may have been lying to you about that. And I don't know why, because I didn't try to, but I may have been. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what this is. Anyways, he's not on here, which is good. That means he's going to play on Sunday. We know who it is. It's Taylor Decker. He had full participation for the 3rd straight day this week. Every day of the week, he's been full participation. He is listed as questionable for this game. But when Dan Campbell was asked today about Taylor Decker possibly playing in Sunday's game, he made it sound definitely like Taylor Decker is going to be out there. Yeah, he looks pretty good. See how he looks today, because again, this was before practice and he had full participation once again, which is definitely good news. He's like, here's the good thing about Taylor Decker is that this whole time that he hasn't been out there, he's been working to get back. He's in good shape. He works his rear off. And if there's anybody on this team that can do it, that can come back from that, long time off and play 100% of the snaps in this game, it's probably that guy.
One has 2 thumbs and doesn't give a crap. Bob Kelso, how you doing?
They asked him to give him a percentage on how likely it is, and he said it's a high percentage. He said it's a high percentage, and then he finally gave him the number. He said it's above 50%.
Is this safe, driving to Baghdad?
Yes, very safe. 50-50.
It's high. So it sounds like Dan Campbell really believes Taylor Decker is going to be on the field. And we took back a little bit yesterday when Anthony Lynn said, well, I think it may be a little aggressive to say he's out there for every snap, but it sounds like Dan Campbell's believing that we're going to see a lot of Taylor Decker tomorrow. So Decker is set to make his debut, I believe, even though he's listed as questionable. And hopefully no setbacks. Knock on wood for that. I believe they're going to go through a walkthrough tomorrow. I don't know who's all going through it. I don't know all their practice information like that. But I know they're going through a walkthrough for Goff Reynolds, guys like that. Let's just hope it stays good, because right now it seems like we're going to see Taylor Decker on the field in his season debut Sunday, which is awesome. The great news I wanted to start you off with first. The next thing we have is Austin Bryant, outside linebacker, shoulder injury, listed as questionable for this game. He was limited participation once again. I guess if there's no Trey Flowers on this list, we're going to be all right, because we got Flowers, we have Charles Harris, we have Julian. We do have another outside linebacker, Jesse. I said Lamagna, but I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong after hearing Dan Campbell say it. Jesse from the LA Chargers, he's a good pass rusher as well. So if there is no Austin Bryant, he could possibly be brought up. He was added to the active roster a few weeks ago, to the 53. I believe he's still there. So anyways, we'll just keep an eye on that. Here's some bad news. Austin Seibert, our kicker, with his right hip injury that he's been dealing with all week in practice, been listed as out for Sunday's game. He went down to did not participate today. He was limited the last couple days, and yesterday it really hit me like, okay, limited participation for a kicker. What does that mean, one? And two, if you're dealing with a right hip injury and you're a right-footed kicker, I feel like that could be an issue. So today he did not participate. He has been listed as out. So if you wonder where we're going from here, it's likely going to be Ryan Santoso who steps into that spot. He's elevated from the practice squad this week. That's very likely. We'll probably see that news tomorrow, so expect to see that. So far, Ryan Santoso has been amazing this season. The guy has not missed a single kick. He's 1 for 1. Yes, sir. Okay. And field goals. It would have been a game winner against Baltimore if it wasn't for them scoring at the very end. He set us up for a game winner. It wasn't a long kick, though, either. However, he's 4 for 4 on extra points. All right. That's some Wendy's stuff. 4 for 4. Goose yourself a 4 for 4. Make you feel better. So, hey, Wendy's, why can't we do a sponsorship? Jamal Williams dealing with that thigh injury really since before the bye week has been labeled as out. I'm sorry if the last couple of days I've had like weird letters in here, like instead of it saying running back, it said hip. I'm not sure why it said that. I don't know. I looked through it and I'm like, all right, looks good, and we put it out there. So I'm sorry, but anyways, it should be good now. Jamal Williams, the running back, will not play in Sunday's game for the second straight game. Now, and this actually is coming off a bye week, which is unfortunate. I thought he'd be back by now. We'll have to see how this goes throughout the season. Again, Deuce Staley called him a workhorse yesterday, but he apparently is not good enough to play in this game. And you know, I wouldn't want to put an injured Jamal out there anyway. Like, if he can't go, I don't want an injured Jamal Williams out there. This is a really tough defense that's going to hit you, so you got to be healthy against this team. Again, Jamar Jefferson, Godwin, expect those guys to get some touches. We shouldn't need to bring anybody up to practice squad or anything like that. I'm looking for Jamar to possibly pops in the running game for Sunday's game. I think, Jamar might be the guy to look out for. Underrated. Look out for Jamar on Sunday, but Jamal will not play. The thing that I hate about that, probably the most, is that we're missing that energy when he gets a first down and, he's just going crazy. I hate missing that side of Jamal Williams. And he is one of those dudes that, man, if it's 3rd and short, 4th and inches, 4th and like, you give it to him and get out of the way. Like, that's the guy you give it to. So without him, you're looking at, okay, Swift, he's not really that kind of running back. Jamar may be the closest thing to that, if we're being honest. Or I guess you have Jason Cabinda. You could probably put him at running back. So anyways, it can affect some things. He is kind of like our goal line power back, I guess I would say. So that's a tough loss. But you finish it off with some good news. That's A.J. Parker. He's going to play in Sunday's game. So our slot cornerback is back, which means it's a safety position is where you got to keep your eye on. Will Harris slide back to starting safety? We know that we have Jalen Elliott, who is now on the 53-man roster. We've heard about him these last couple of days. They said he's earned the role. He's earned the playing time the last couple of weeks, and he's earned this role to be on the 53-man roster. And he's got high goals, man. You got him talking about, man, I want to be a Pro Bowler, a starter. I love it. So we'll see where that goes from here. But A.J. Parker's back, and I think we need that. I think we do need A.J. Parker back. I know they're, dealing with some injuries. They're a wide receiver front, but Parker is very helpful, especially when it comes to tackling, and I think that's where he could be most beneficial this weekend. For a team that throws a lot of screens, they do a lot of things behind the line of scrimmage, you need guys that will hit. Hopefully A.J. Parker is up to the challenge with that neck injury, but he's been full participation all week, so I'm feeling good about it. All right, let's move over to the Steelers side, and then we'll come back to the notes in a second. Here is the Steelers side of the injury report. This looks good. Here we go. Let's start off at the top. Najee Harris, the running back, up yesterday for the first time with limited participation, their bell cow running back. But today, he was full participation with that foot injury, so it looks like he's going to be good to go for Sunday's game. Huge update for them. Having Najee Harris, I mean, he gets so many touches. He is their guy in the backfield. Watching some film, I've seen Kalen a few times come in, but it's just mainly Najee Harris. He gets the ball. He carries it a lot. He's hard to bring down. One guy cannot bring him down consistently. You got to swarm tackle this guy, and he just keeps coming. I mean, wears your defense down. And then the passing game as well. He can be used as just simply a player that can decoy. He's just a problem, all right? We know how good this player is. There's a reason he was the top running back in this year's draft. He has that great pass catching ability as well for a big running back. I've heard our coaches, Mark DeLone, compare him how he's built to Rick Henry. So, yeah, Najee Harris is a problem. We all know this, but he looks like he's going to play on Sunday. Their center, Kendrick Green, he also improved to full participation. So it looks like they will have their starting center in this game, the rookie out of Illinois. Continuing down, Ben Roethlisberger, this was probably the big one that I know a lot of people probably had an eye on. Me personally, I was looking out for it just to see if it played out like we thought it would, and it did. Full participation today. He returned. He had his 3 days off. Now he's back in practice in full participation, and he is set to play for Sunday's game. Again, they didn't put designations like questionable or in. I would bet he would be listed as questionable, but he's probably going to play on Sunday. I don't think you should expect to see Mason Rudolph. This was something that we thought would happen, and it did. Here's the big one, though. Chase Claypool, we do have a designation here. He has been labeled as out for Sunday's game, and this is a big loss. It's a very big loss. You know, a guy that did not finish the end of the Bears game because he went out on that last drive. Watching the film today and the way they utilize him, the trust factor they have when it's one-on-one coverage is a lot of times going to Chase Claypool. They move him around, put him in the slot, inside, outside. He's a really nice target for Ben Roethlisberger. Now it's kind of like James Washington, Deontay Johnson are, of course, their top two. Washington will probably get a lot of the targets as it seems like there's a trust factor between him and Big Ben. But Chase Claypool was a guy that, man, he looked to him a lot. So now I think Claypool is tough. They're also losing some size, but it should help some of our outside cornerbacks when you get matched up one-on-one, especially for having to stack the box to try to help against this run. You get more one-on-one shots. Not having Claypool should be helpful because a lot of times they like to go to him, and a lot of times he makes a play on the football. However, continuing down, Robert Spillane, the linebacker, he's going to play, I believe, as well. Full participation today, which did improve from limited from yesterday. Isaiah Buggs, their starting nose tackle, full participation with his hip injury. And then Cam Hayward, full participation as well when yesterday he was limited. The D-line should be good to go, and their D-line is very talented. I'm watching. There's just, everybody's making plays. They sub it in out like crazy. That front seven is just, the front seven just gets after you. They have Joel Schobert rocking the number 93 at inside linebacker, and it's kind of weird, but I think it's just like, hey, it's confusing for an offense. Like, who is that? Oh, that's a linebacker. They just are downhill. They're attacking defense. They got Devin Bush in there who'll go to work. They have TJ Watt who'll move all over the place. Edge, inside, he'll blitz. He'll do all types of things. His get off is ridiculous, but that D-line, Hayward is a difference maker. The guy has 17 pressures, 2 sacks, and he's got a pick. He picked it off against the Bears. Not on Donald's level, of course, in terms of efficiency, consistency, but you see flashes of what you see from Donald as well. The quick swim move, beating blockers right off the snap and run game, blowing up things, forcing bounce outs. He is very talented. Cameron Hayward is a difference maker. The guy I got to tell you about is Loudermilk. I know he's only played 88 defensive snaps, and his numbers aren't crazy or anything. He does have 3 solo tackles on the season. He has 1 pressure or 1 sack. But he's the guy to look out for because he flashed a few times to me. A lot of impact players on that D-line. So I think they're really, from the front 7 out, that's what they're built through, and their front 7 looks pretty healthy. And then finally, you wrap it up with Eric Ebron, full participation again today. He's going to play. Eric Ebron looked like he's good to go with a hammy injury, so he's going to be back to play his former team. And that is the Steelers side of the injury report. Now, I do have a couple of notes. I don't really have notes from the Steelers side. I was mainly just watching film, getting ready for a preview, but I do have a couple of notes as well, aside from the Taylor Decker notes. So let's go there. Campbell was talking about kind of the red zone, and that's been something we've been talking about for weeks now, and even TJ Hawkins brought up, well, we got to get to the red zone more. That's very true, because the last couple weeks we haven't. You know, early in the season we weren't converting, and recently we haven't even been getting to the red zone. But Dan Kim brought up is, look, they're a top red zone team. We were watching a film, we're like, man, it's tough for teams to score in there. They are 4th in the league in red zone defense. So, I mean, the stats don't lie. They are tough in that area because they're very well disciplined. They're linebackers. They don't bite on a lot of things. And I think they see it a ton in practice as well. Vet quarterback, ton of motions. They see all of this. They understand the leverage, so it's hard to out-leverage this team. Dan Campbell said that we need to be patient. All right, you know, we can't try to do too much when we get in those situations. So that'll be a thing to definitely keep an eye on. Red zone could be the difference in this game. And the reason I say that, it gives me flashbacks. I know you guys remember this game where I think we lost like 16-18. We took a ton of field goals. Like every time we got down there, I think we kicked a field goal. It's something like that, some score like that. Juju took the top off from like their own end zone, and that opened up the game. But it was just, we kept getting held to field goals and field goals and field goals. And that's what they are, man. I mean, they're a good defense overall. It's not like they're going to completely bend. But at the same time, they don't break whatsoever once you get to the red zone. So that's going to be an area to absolutely watch. Campbell was also asked about Goff Reynolds and his potential to play in Sunday's game. You know, can he play? He just came in Thursday. They had the walkthrough on Saturday. He was working with JG on Thursday. By the way, JG. Reynolds called him that. So you know what? I feel like it's fair game. He called him that. He said this. Everything is on the table right now. Trying to get him up to speed. I don't know what I'm thinking. And I think he actually may be ready for Sunday's game. Just not out there 100% as like an X receiver or a Z receiver, I should say. I don't think he'll be out there all the time. But I think there's certain packages that he could possibly be ready for on Sunday. And you could just tell the relationship that him and Goff have, right? You could tell from film. I talked about it before we even claimed the guy. I was like, man, I could tell that there's a trust factor there. Well, Josh Reynolds talked a little bit about Goff today. He said Jared messaged me before they even claimed me. And he was like, hey, did we get you yet? And he's like, no, not yet. There's that good connection there. And Jared was super excited to get him on the team, and he's super excited to be here. Obviously, he wants more opportunity to play more because the Titans didn't have a ton of opportunity being behind A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. It's going to be kind of hard to sneak into that mix. But he also said the culture, he already feels the great culture here. He said, I wasn't just saying, oh, I want to go find, a team that's going to make the playoffs like a lot of free agents do. He was like, if I want to do that, I could have just sat with the Titans. But I want an opportunity to play, being in the culture. So we've given a lot of guys opportunities this year. Some guys stepped up like Khalif. Other guys have not. So this will be an opportunity for him, right? It's an opportunity where it's 9 games. And even if your future is not with us, it's like a lot of free agents we brought in. It could be with someone else. So if you show up these last 9 games, then someone could be interested in you next season. You can get a much bigger deal when the cap goes back up. So it's better to do that, I think, from his perspective, just see what he can do, get an opportunity, maybe more targets than he was getting with the Titans. Here and try to do that and be maybe a top guy on this team, see what you can do here, and then possibly try to earn a bigger contract this offseason than sitting behind those 2 receivers, because then you're all of a sudden kind of in that Khalif Raymond boat. And he got out of that, right? He got out of that with Tennessee. Weird how that kind of worked out. He got out of that as well and was like, all right, let's go with the Lions. And he stepped up. So we'll see how that goes with Josh Reynolds. He said the reason he chose the number 8 is because that's really all they had left. They had 6, 8, and they had 80. And he's like, I didn't want 80, so I took 8. All right. Yeah, 80s. I like the 83. I'm mad we didn't have 83. Okay, but it's all right. It's all right. Did we have 83? I don't know. Let's not go with the number 6. That was Tyrell. Didn't work out. Let's just not do the number 6. Let's wait till next season before someone throws on the 6. He definitely feels good to go, and he'll do whatever the team needs to do, whatever package they want to put him in this week. But he said he hasn't been told yet whether or not he's gonna be up or down, and that's probably something that'll be last minute, whether or not he's active. I hope he's active, just to maybe have that threat. But we'll see. I know it's a short turnaround, so I can understand if he's not. Also, we got to hear from Aubrey Pleasant, who said that with Josh Reynolds, because you go back to the Rams days, they called him Big Smooth. I like that. That makes sense. So he's a very smooth player. Obviously, he's big. He's 6'3". He's not the most bulky guy, but he is smooth in his route running. I like that. He said he's got real nice long speed. Not necessarily as much in the short game, but he's got more long speed, and he's a very willing blocker. And I know the Lions will like that. Okay, bam. Before we even claimed this dude, hit this right on the head. Actually, we hit this on the head before we were even talking about Josh Reynolds, that because St. Brown blocks better, him at the Z receiver position will allow us to run some of these screens and stuff that Hodge and Benson, they're not blocking out there. We run a screen their way and they miss a block and it blows up the entire play. So if you're going to go to this offense, there's a lot of underneath stuff, you're not blocking, it's going to be a disaster. So St. Brown can help us more there. Well, think about where Reynolds is coming from. Tennessee. Our cornerbacks, we need to go down and help tackle because he knows they have a pretty good running back. So they need to go help. And yeah, I think it's about that swarm tackle this guy. Cornerbacks, they're doing a lot of things underneath. So you have to understand that a lot of things are going to be that short passing game. Get on top of it. But you also have to be super disciplined because they motion the heck out of you to get your leverage. So we got to be right on pinpoint, with those type of things that Aaron Glenn talked about. Losing leverage, not being in the right alignment. That can't be the case this week because they're all about alignment and just beating you that way. But at the same time, when it gets to the backfield or it's a running back screen or a receiver screen, these dudes need a swarm tackle. So our corners need to help us. Getting Parker back hopefully should help there. That's really the main notes I took away from this one. Again, I don't know what the heck's going on with the Trey Flowers thing. I may have been doing this, and he may have never been on this injury report, and I may just be losing it. I don't know. Not sure how I magically saw him, but he was not on here today. So I'm sorry if in the comments you were like, hey, he's not on here, and I missed it. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I just completely missed it. I'm not sure what the heck had me put him on there, and then maybe because I did it Wednesday, Thursday, it was like, oh, yeah, he's on there, so I just did it. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that, but either way, it looks like he's healthy because he's not on this list, and I haven't heard any other updates about him. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyways, let me know your thoughts, comments below. We'll be back with probably a preview today or tomorrow. I'm thinking that's probably going to happen. And then, of course, Saturday we got Michigan, Indiana. No, messed that up. Michigan, Penn State at noon. We also have Michigan basketball at night. We may do that. We may not. We'll kind of see how that goes. And then Sunday is Lions, Pittsburgh. So if you're not here to watch it, I don't know where else you're at. Like, what are you doing? Are you at the bowling alley? Like, you can't pull your phone out at the bowling alley and, watch the stream? Just, put it on, just, background music? It's not music, though. It's just me talking. and watching and yelling. It's a good time. I feel like it's always a good time. Hey, enjoy the games. We only got 9 left. How we doing? Trivia question. Okay. I always feel like I give the same trivia questions, so it's boring. Like, the first thing in my head was your favorite cereal. I've definitely asked that before. I got to stop asking that question. Okay. Think of something new. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Favorite, I know we're a little ways out. Favorite Thanksgiving dish. I think I've asked that before, but I like it because I hear the food. I'm like, oh, damn, I'm hungry. So do that. Comment that below. Favorite Thanksgiving dish. Or you can comment below your favorite type of milk. But I feel like those don't really go together. So just pick one. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.